Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to the Filmbusters podcast. The film show with no filters, no prisoners taken, loads of disagreements, but one hell of a love for cinema.
If you want to hear three friends ridiculing each other for an hour or so regarding their taste in films, then you have come to the right place.
In each episode, one of the team picks a film for us to discuss. It could be anything from a recent cinema release to an all-time classic.
So, strap in and get ready to get mad or get vindicated as we guide you through the murky world of being a film geek.
If you like what you hear, you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram using @FilmbustersPod. You can also find each of our individual accounts. I'm at Filmbusters Paul.
I'm at Filmbusters Adam.
And I'm at Filmbusters Ben.
If you want to use your eyes instead of your ears, you can also visit the website at filmbusterspod.co.uk.
And if busting makes you feel good, you can also support us at patreon.com/filmbusters for exclusive content.
Alright, can we just get on with this now, please?
Filmbusters.
Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast. This is a bit of a special one today because me and Ben are in the same room as each other.
We're in the same room. I'm in the same house as Paul.
I know.
I'm in Paul's house now.
It's been a while. When's the last time we recorded together?
Well, the last time that we recorded together was Free From Hell, but the last time we recorded here, pretty much exactly where we're sat, was when we gave our thoughts on Tomb Raider, which was 5 years ago.
Yes.
5 years ago.
That terrible film.
It lives long in our memories because we saw it together and then we came here and did it.
It does. It has that little bit of nice back just because of that, I guess.
It does.
What are we here to do today, Ben?
Well, first of all, I have to acknowledge that it's very fucking strange to be recording this and looking you in the face while doing this. It's very, I'm instinctively, I'm looking away from you while I'm talking because it's very strange.
And I'm trying not to break my eye contact to make it even more
too
awkward for
intense.
you.
If we get particularly angry and we want to make a point and we disagree with what the other person says and you hold the eye contact.
I'm going to be shying away. I'm going to be covering my eyes.
I know. This is very strange, but it's good. This is how we would have done it if we'd carried on doing it 10 years ago or something. COVID changed the game for people and stuff. We weren't fucking recording face to face anyway because of COVID.
No.
Anyway, what are we doing
It's nice.
today?
It's a different kind of energy, though. I think it's quite nice to record together. Today, yes, we are doing Saw X, everyone. And we're doing this a different kind of way. We're going to go straight into it because Adam isn't here. And we're going to strip it back. We're just going to be doing straight into the review. The review. But first of all...
That's how the French say it anyway.
First of all, we're just going to talk around Saw and what the franchise means to us and what the films mean to us. And we've been very much looking forward to this film.
Because I think it means a lot to me and you. It doesn't seem to mean a hell of a lot to a lot of other people, though.
No.
Everyone's very dismissive of it, largely. I know Julio and Alex don't like it. Katie and Oti do not like it. Adam don't care for it.
No, that's why he's not here. Otherwise, he would have been here, I'm sure, if he was really dedicated to that franchise.
But we both give the first Saw a 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 banger. Absolutely. Start it all.
Fair to say that pretty much all of the follow-up films, even though there's some duds in there, we kind of like them all.
Yeah. To me, it is... I know it's not to you, but to me, it is my favourite horror franchise of all time. I love it.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
It would be, if Halloween wasn't there, I think it's third for me. I think it's Halloween, and then Scream. Yeah. And then Saw.
But are you saying, like, I feel like you... Do you love Scream as much? Because you love the first film. Like, okay, if you broke this down, right, you give... I know there's some films that go lower than Scream.
That's the problem. There's more films than Scream. And Scream has went brilliant on the first one and then just went steady sevens across the board. Whereas Saw had 10s and 9s and 8s, but then it had some 4s and 5s. And actually, if we're including Spiral in there, I don't think I even incorporated that into my overall ranking, so that would bring it down a bit more.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
And here's a question, actually, when it comes to that overall ranking, because you would have to readjust your rankings too if you were going to include Spiral.
I did include Spiral.
Oh, okay, fine, and it's still top.
It's not top. This is why I bring it in. Top is Scream, but that is because it's consistent. If you're talking for average, yes, the highest average will be Scream because it never ever goes below good.
Well, but see, this throws our whole fucking model of how we rank films entirely out the window because we do it by the maths. But that's interesting.
Yeah, inside personally, it is my favourite because of the history I have with the franchise, because from the first Saw, I mean, when did the first Saw come out? Do you remember?
2004 or 5?
2004 or 5. So I would have been 14, 15. Let's fact check that. I feel like we need to say exactly what year it was.
I feel like it was my first year at uni, so I think it was 2004.
Correct, 2004.
Nice.
So yes, I was 14. That's my 14th year.
And you went to the cinema and saw it?
I did not see it in the cinema. I watched it at home. It would have been once it'd been released. So it would have been. I probably would have watched it on Sky or something like that. And man, I was blown away. And if you think so, from then, Saw 2 that came out in 2005, the year after.
Every year afterwards, isn't it?
Yeah, every year afterwards. I would not have been able to go to the cinema until 2008.
Yeah.
So there
You
was.
didn't break the law.
No, I might have done.
I think you did.
I felt like I definitely didn't see Saw 2 in the cinema. I remember watching that at home, and I was so excited to watch that. I remember watching it at home, and I was so excited to watch it. But after that Saw 2, I feel like I always went to the cinema.
Very good. It was an event because it used to come out every year at Halloween at the cinema. Without fail, every year they were banging a new film out, which is highly impressive.
Yeah.
To bang out a new film, and it was always a cinema trip event. I went to the cinema for every one of them, apart from Jigsaw, because there was that big delay, and then they dropped Jigsaw. And I felt like, I don't know, I've been disconnected from the franchise for a bit, so it wasn't that big a deal to see it in the cinema. So I saw it on streaming. I'm glad I didn't see it in the cinema, really.
Yeah.
But they were so good at basically going, maybe they weren't with the first and second, but they hit a point where they were like, right, here's Saw 3. They went online, they said, the fans like that. What did the fans like? They liked that. Oh, you didn't like that. You got questions about that. We're going to answer it in the next film.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
Saw 4. What did you like? What didn't you like? Let's address that. I don't know any other franchise that does that.
Yeah, as a franchise, it feels like it really tapped into what the audience wanted, and it feels like it was always paying off. It's like, oh my god, this is that. And what's so clever about them is it felt like they were always one step ahead of its audience, because they were setting stuff up in their films before they'd even pay off. Do you remember in Saw 3? Where he swallows the wax-covered tape,
and you see him pour the wax on the tape, and you don't know why he's done
it's like you don't know, and it's like they don't even talk about it. It's like, what films do that?
I know.
Where they don't care about paying something off until the next film.
It's
wonderful,
highly impressive. Why do you give a fuck about Saw so much though? Like people dismiss it as a sort of torture porn thing. They're like, oh, it's just about how gruesome you can be.
I know.
It was never that. That is an element, but it was never really that for me.
I feel like more than any horror franchise for me, I feel like there's none others that continue a story and that feels cohesive and actually makes sense, as well as trying to pull the wool over your eyes on certain elements of the story.
Yes.
I don't think any other films, and it does all the way up to the last Saw 3D.
Saw 3D.
Before they decide, okay, now we're going to make just standalone kind of Saw films.
Yeah.
It was an ongoing story.
Is that ongoing? Yeah, it was. Here is something which I never like in horror, but I like in Saw, is that the reason the Saw films endured and were so good is because they went into the backstory of John Kramer. Unlike Michael Myers or Jason or whoever, the more you learn about them, the less scary they become. I think John Kramer, he wasn't scary like a boogeyman. It was more like, fuck, there's an intense situation and this human being's put them into it. Why has he done that? That isn't breaking the mystery. That is heart of the fucking franchise.
Absolutely.
So the more you find out, like, what was it, Saw 4 or 5, when you find out that he had the wife in the clinic and that junkie pushed the door and she lost the baby. I was like, fuck, man, this is an emotional heart that we're seeing here. This is great. 4th or 5th entry in is incredible.
And it's like, what other horror film or franchise has your villain is, for me,
Who you're
personally,
rooting for.
the good guy.
Yeah, he is a good guy.
Everyone else they're the bad guys. They were put in a trap for a reason, because they're a bad person.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's true. When I was at uni, after the third Saw came out, I was speaking to my lecturers and I was like, I would love to write an essay, and can you help me get it published in some magazine or book or something on the morals of the horror film in that, because it's all justified. It's all justified. Obviously never wrote it, but that is what is fascinating about it, is you can moralize it away. I don't know how much it holds up in the later films, but definitely the first three, when John Kramer's alive, he isn't doing anything. I mean, he is kidnapping people and injecting them and shit. He would go to jail, but morally on a grander scale, he's not.
He's like a vigilante, right? Where he's...
That's why you like him.
Yeah, he's...
You like the vigilantes.
He has his, like, rules that he doesn't like to break. Hence why when we come to the Amanda stuff, it's like, no, these people are supposed to be tested and be able to escape.
Yes.
And it's like... And then... If you break my rules, then you got to go through a test yourself because that is not morally correct.
Tests within tests and games within games, and I think you had to be invested. You had to like the series to care about it. I think if you were like, oh, Saw was okay, it was a good twist, and then the second and third one you were like, I'm out. You were never going to like the rest of them. You were never going to appreciate it, them building that world and that universe.
Yeah,
but if you were into it like we were, then you were. Now, I got a question for you. How much do you know about Saw X?
Nothing. I haven't even watched the trailer.
Good. Neither have I.
That's why I'm excited.
But I do know one thing, which isn't a spoiler.
Yeah, I know a couple of things.
The plot.
Yes.
Plot, when it's set, basically.
Yeah. That's basically what I when I heard a Saw was coming out, that was kind of attached to the release of it, and I was like, oh, okay. Info. And I was like, oh, cool.
So first thing, because obviously we're recording this, I don't know if we said it, but we're recording this before we've seen the film.
Yes.
We haven't seen it yet. No. So this is our intro bit. My understanding, and this is all I know, I'm not going to spoil anything because I only know a sentence or two, which is probably what you know.
Yep.
My understanding is that this is set before he became Jigsaw the villain, before he started doing traps, but after he got the cancer diagnosis.
Right.
That's my understanding. So with that in mind, what is the best you could hope for from this film? Not to maybe it's not going to be a 10 out of 10. It probably ain't. It probably won't. But what would make this the best unique news story for you? What are you hoping for from Saw X?
So one other thing that I know you know and I know, and which is probably in a trailer, and it's also been dropped by Tobin Bell himself.
I didn't know until you told me.
Oh.
You sent the thing, and I was like, well, I don't know what that means. Is that true?
I don't know.
Though.
Maybe it's not true. It was a cool little video where it showed Tobin Bell standing in the bathroom of the original Saw.
Yeah, it was a bathroom, yeah.
And he was just hanging around. Then someone calls me away off set, and then on the floor is a little note that said, Amanda is back.
Yes, but you know what? That is such a fucking new generation thing to do, isn't it? We're going to do this TikTok and reveal a plot point.
And John Kramer's walking around like a dummy on that. Okay, I'll come off set.
Here's the
I dropped this note.
Where it all started.
But with that fact, if Amanda's in it, and the fact that there is a Saw bathroom that he's walking in, I feel like this is going to be almost the origins of Jigsaw, right? So him learning what he's going to do to become this villain in people's eyes. So maybe we're going to see the early days of Billy. Maybe we're going to see... We might... The only way Amanda's going to get introduced is Amanda getting captured, maybe? Because I feel like we've seen everything else.
We have,
Amanda.
Even in like fleeting flashbacks, we've seen
the bathroom scene.
We've seen them setting up.
Amanda was setting the bathroom scene up with him.
Yeah.
So,
and we've also kind of seen him after he gets pissed off with society when he's sitting in his workshop and he's making a few bits and pieces like the glass coffin. We see Billy, like an early version of Billy.
Yeah.
We see some of that, so we know that he was plotting and planning stuff, but maybe we haven't seen like... Because what I want from this film is I want one big moment, which might even be the twist, because there's got to be a twist.
There's got to be a twist.
If there's no twist, I'll be disappointed.
I'm going to get my goosebumps as soon as that music starts coming, man.
Yeah. So when that music starts, what I would ideally like is for there to be the great revelation for fans of the series, you and I, that when the music starts, something in the story connects you to what you know is going to come. The wider universe. And you're like, fuck, right, that's where it's at. I got a little goosebump up my neck there just thinking about, I don't even know what it is, but just the idea that it might happen.
I know.
One little thing that happened, I wouldn't like it to just be music that relates to this specific story, like a resolution or twist in this story. I would like it to be a
wider
here's
twist.
the reveal. Yeah, now you know.
Yeah.
But people will say, what more do you need to know? What more do you need to know? We already know why he became the way he became and why he did. This is just going to be more info.
Well, the thing is, this film, clearly going back to John Kramer before everything, it feels a more personal story of John Kramer, which...
I would like that.
Yeah, which I don't think we've really got. We've got him involved in whatever trap he's doing.
Yeah.
But this is like John Kramer, origins, this is why I've started doing this. And...
You refresh my memory then, right? Because up to this point, if this film wasn't out, my understanding, if someone said, why did he become the way he became? It would have been, he got a cancer diagnosis, so he knew he was going to die. That doesn't make you a villain, but he knew he was going to die, but coupled with the fact that he has seen what he deems as the worst of society not taking their opportunities in that his wife was trying to help them in that clinic, and her kindness was turned against her, and they lost their child, and he couldn't recover from that. So his wife left him, he lost his child, he got a cancer diagnosis, and he was like, life is precious. I'm going to make you fucking understand this. Yeah.
And that's the thing as well. From that, I can't remember what Saw that was in with the
That's
with
4
the baby.
or 5.
Saw 4 or 5. So from memory, the guys who accidentally pushed the door on what's her name?
Jill, I think.
Jill. Yeah, Jill. His name was Caesar.
Yeah,
I feel like his name was Caesar.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt in that film that we were seeing the first ever trap that he had ever built, because of how it fell apart, and it wasn't like...
Oh, yeah.
It fell apart as he was in it.
That's
and
right.
it felt like this was the origin, because he was in the room with him.
That's right.
He wasn't shying away from... Maybe this is where he realised I can't
be in the
have
room.
my face...
Yeah, in case someone
Just
gets
in case
out.
something happens, if something gets out, yeah. So I felt like that was the start of the journey.
That's true.
So maybe it's somewhere in between that.
Yeah. Somewhere in between that, and certainly it's going to be him having to meet Amanda.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing we never saw, is him meeting Amanda.
Yeah.
Or encountering her in some way to know. But
She was just a junkie, right? That's what she was doing wrong.
She was a junkie. She was shooting up, and how does he know this? So I guess that's what we'll see in the film. Maybe not as a big plot point, maybe as a side thing. Because the thing is, I can believe that they can make him look younger than he looked in the Saw films. Because in the Saw films, they made him look ill and unwell.
Yeah.
So I can believe him looking younger than he did in that, without them putting a baseball cap on.
Yeah.
But her, like, best will in the world, and it's not about her being a woman, it's just that she does look significantly older now.
Yeah.
So I do not know how... if they do some de-aging stuff, that could...
If it looks a bit glossy, then it might...
Maybe they keep her in the shadows.
Yeah, in the shadows, it might work.
Or maybe she got a pig's head on the whole time.
Yeah. That's Amanda, isn't it?
It's me behind here, though. It's really me, the actress. You just can't see my face. Quite Amanda.
That's really the only thing I can't work out. But we're going to find out. But I can't work out the placement of this film. And I'm looking forward to seeing what part of the story we didn't know and what we needed fleshing out.
Yes.
Because I do feel like we saw it.
Yeah, well, we did in bits and pieces. The thing, I didn't have it in me to do this. It would have been great if I could have fit in another entire run beforehand. Because I feel like that we'd have a clear view of, okay, we knew exactly this. Because if they reference some minor stuff, it might go over our heads. Which I hope not. I would hate to lose out on that. The thing that is interesting is that this is called Saw X. X is 10.
Yeah.
That means they acknowledge Spiral as an entry.
Yeah.
If they do that, are they going to connect characters from Spiral in some way to it?
I hope not.
I hope not too, because that's set the complete other side of the whole Saw thing.
I've got one other thing that I just remembered. In I wish I could remember which Saw was which. The Saw where it goes after the insurance company.
I think that's 6.
Saw 6. That he goes to the insurance company, and
5.
he
It's
speaks.
5.
He speaks to the guy, talking about a very revolutionary treatment that he wants to go do, but he wouldn't basically fund it.
Right.
So this would technically be
Around about that
around
time.
that time as well. So he's gone to see the insurance guy, but he won't fund it. So somehow he's got to work out how to get the money.
Yes.
And the fact is that apparently these people steal the money.
Oh, what? That's a plot for this one.
That's what the part of the plot was.
Right.
Yeah, that he goes and gets this revolutionary treatment, and they basically it's a scam.
Interesting.
Which is like he's had all these people fuck him over.
Yeah.
So then it wasn't just the Caesar.
No, it wasn't just Caesar.
That must have been Caesar. Must have happened.
Yeah.
And then he thinks, okay, let me carry on with my life and try and get the treatment.
Yeah.
And then all these people fuck him over, so he must get to a point where he's like, okay, I'm taking everyone out.
Yeah.
All
But-
the people who've wronged me.
Yeah, but don't forget, he isn't just like, I'm going to take them out. He's like, I'm going to give you a chance.
Yes, chance, yes.
So it'll be interesting if in this film, if he goes after these people, if he's just hell for leather, you're going to die, and I'm going to do bad shit to you, or if it's I'll give you a chance. It's like what we haven't learned is this idea of a chance. Why does he give them a chance? Where did that come from?
Yeah. I'm very excited.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
We'll be going in a couple hours. We'll be
Yeah.
there. We'll find out. Do you think we'll have Dr. Gordon? We already got his payoff. I don't think Carrie always will come back for it. He only came back for that final one because it was a payday. I don't see him coming back for Saw X.
No, I don't think we will. I think at the most we're going to see... I don't even know if we're going to see anyone. We could see...
They're all too old, man.
Will we see Hoffman? I can't remember where Hoffman comes into the story. He's quite early. He sorts Amanda out. So technically Hoffman would be earlier in the story.
Hoffman's in the 4th. That's when we meet Hoffman. But then we realise that he was involved with Amanda from... I can't remember if Hoffman was involved in the bathroom setup. If they made out like he was or not.
I wish I had these fresh in my head. It's such an extensive narrative. So much stuff happens. It's hard to keep hold of every little strand. I just hope...
Gordon and Amanda set up the bathroom. Hoffman wasn't involved in the bathroom.
I remember Amanda set up it.
Hoffman did help set up the traps in 2.
Oh baby!
house.
I just remembered a beautiful thing.
What?
This is why it's so good, man. When Amanda was setting up the bathroom, and she was supposed to tie the key onto the end of the chain in the bath.
That's right.
And that's why in the first one you always wonder, but why does the key go down the bath?
Yeah, and they explained it with such a throwaway line.
Yes.
Like, make sure you tie the key
Yes,
to that
and it's
plug.
like,
Yeah,
well, yes,
it's true.
beautiful. Thank you. It makes it all worth
I
it.
know, but that is the beautiful. They were onto a niche thing because they engaged with their fandom.
Yeah.
That was their way of always having a get out of jail free card. It's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, if we drop the ball there,
It's like,
we'll
come on,
come up with
someone
an answer.
solved this for us.
I know.
But it works.
I'm excited. First time we are going to see a Saw film together as well.
Yes.
The only other I saw that Spiral with Scott and Adam before. I fell asleep in that film, man.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking bad.
It was bad. This is when it doesn't work. It's like you're not even tying that one to Tobin Bell.
Can you
John
remember
Kramer?
what happened at the end of Jigsaw? We get one scene, even though it's set after he died. We get one scene of John Kramer.
Yes, which is why I didn't like this one. They tried to make a new apprentice who'd always been there all along.
What in Jigsaw?
Jigsaw. It was the guy. Do you remember they have like the laser thing on their head that's about to come down and like chop the head in half or something?
Yeah.
And the guy's one is just a laser pointer, and it comes down, and then the other guy opposite. It's about the two. It's one of them's a policeman.
I can't remember it
Yeah.
well enough. I hope they don't acknowledge that.
Yeah, but they try to make it out as if it was another apprentice. I hope they do not, because I don't see that as part of the narrative.
Hell no.
Jigsaw.
No, I disagree.
I see it as disconnected. Up to Saw 3D. That is it. That is an encapsulated story for me.
Yeah.
Anything past that just feels tacked on.
Even though Saw 3D was pretty bad, when I did the
It
rewatch,
was.
3D was pretty bad. Even though it paid off a nice thing with Gordon,
But it was still
bad.
part of the story.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. It felt very Final Destination, that one. Like the teenagers and the fact that it was outside in public.
Yeah.
And it was all like,
went too
what's
big.
going on?
I know.
Yeah, what's going on?
Different. Well, who's the director of this? Is it anyone who has done the other Saw films?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Which ones did he do?
Here we go, I'll tell you. It's Kevin Grutert. So
Okay, which ones he do?
He directed Saw 6 and Saw 3D. So,
well, at least it's
but he was the editor of Saw 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well,
4,
that's nice.
5, Jigsaw.
Oh yeah,
and that's it.
Did he do Spiral? Good. He wasn't involved in Spiral.
No, he wasn't involved in Spiral.
Okay, well then, but
He's part of this world, so I'm happy that he's part of it.
Here's one other thing. I don't know if you know or not. I only know this because occasionally I see a tweet. This is the second highest rated Saw on IMDb.
I know.
Isn't that wild?
I know.
The 10th fucking entry.
Yeah.
But it's like this isn't just recency bias. This has now been out for several weeks.
It's been out for a while. I know. I keep checking the rating, and I'm just like, it's got a 3.5, I believe, on Letterboxd, and I'm like, man, that's high.
That is high.
That's high for a sequel.
It's fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's mad for a fucking.
But I don't want to think too much about it. That's the thing.
Do you know what? That might mean we hate it because it's really play into the fucking newbies.
It's like standalone.
Yeah, I bet it is. I bet it is standalone. I bet it's something you don't have to understand.
Let's see how different that is, though, from Jigsaw and Spiral.
Spiral.
2.4 Jigsaw's on, so we're onto a good thing if it's better than Jigsaw.
That's good, yeah.
Anyway, but Spiral, that is on a horrendous 2.1.
Yeah, bad.
You know, Spiral was directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. He was like very involved.
Yeah, he was. Well, that is. I mean, it has the dark look, but the story is crap. Like, there's nothing wrong with the way that it looks.
2, 3, and 4.
Who wrote that shit though? That's where the crime is.
So, Darren Bousman wrote Saw 2, which is a great one.
Yeah,
it's a great one. I enjoy that one.
That's on the lower end of
who you want to know who wrote what?
I want to know who wrote Spiral.
Oh, Spiral.
Because that's the one who's the criminal.
Josh Stolberg and Pete Goldfinger.
And what have they done? Click on them.
Oh shit!
What?
Josh Stolberg wrote Saw X and Jigsaw.
Oh no! He wrote. Yeah. No!
But it's a double writer because Pete Goldfinger also wrote both of those as well.
Oh fuck! Oh shit!
I like how we give us some sweet and salt there.
Yeah.
It's like we gave the sweet of it's someone from the past who's directed these films or had involvement, but they've also done the bad ones.
Well, look, maybe they've learnt from their mistakes.
Maybe. Don't get Chris Rock involved.
But that makes me think more that they're going to try and connect it with
maybe
that hidden apprentice. If he wrote Jigsaw, he's not going to discount his own work.
Oh, baby, please don't do it.
Oh man, if they got Chris Rock or Samuel L. Jackson rocking up in this, I will bow the fuck out. I will bow out.
It better not. Nah.
Well, I think there's nothing left for it. We better just go and see it.
Yeah, I think it's about time we go and watch Saw X.
Let's go and watch Saw X and tell these folks how we feel.
Let's do it.
It's my war wound. Where's your skull? Henry. Thank you, Detective, for locating my fellow cancer patient.
Out of all the men to cheat, you picked John Kramer? I mean, I call that epic bad luck.
Please. John, please. Please don't kill me. That's the last thing that you should be worried about. Now, I want to play a game.
Right, everyone, we're back from the cinema. Just to let everyone know, this is a spoiler episode. We're going to go straight into spoilers, no hanging around. So we're going to spoil it terribly for you unless you go and watch it, because we want to get straight into this. We haven't spoken about it since we left the cinema, have we, Ben?
We've showed great restraint.
We have. We tried to show little hints and tried to ask questions, talking around how we felt about the film.
Yes.
But we've been very restrained.
And apart from like immediate reactions to certain things that happened when we were watching the film that you just can't prevent, there's no way of knowing exactly what the other person is thinking.
Mm-hmm. Before we actually get into, we'll give a little first impression. Just a short one.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I just want to talk about our expectations. Were they fulfilled in what we thought was going to happen? And I think we kind of spoke around it in a good way, and I think it kind of delivered on what we thought.
It did. What was the thing when I said what was going to be your best case scenario? What did you say? Remind me.
Okay, so we mentioned it's going to be very John Kramer focused, and it's going to be a bit of a personal kind of stuff. We kind of joked before going in that it might be drama.
Yeah,
drama,
I know. Right. For the first 30 minutes, I was like, it is a fucking drama.
And also that it was based somewhere between him wanting to get this surgery.
Yes, and it was. I don't think either of us realised that it was actually going to. I think we both thought it was going to be set before the first Saw, right? Before the bathroom. Is that what you thought?
Yes.
I thought that.
Yes, but where is it?
But then it
set?
wasn't.
Where is it set really?
So the only time line that I can sync up because of Amanda's hair is it Saw 2, because in Saw 2 her hair is short like it was in.
So
this
the
film.
bathroom's already happened, you reckon?
The bathroom must have already happened. Although, with the mid-credit scene with Hoffman coming back into that bathroom, which is set after the events in Mexico.
But we've returned to that bathroom many times, haven't we? Because we
have, but the bodies have been left in there subsequently.
But also, they went back for Donnie Wahlberg after he smashed his foot and dragged himself back out.
Yeah, they stuck him in there. Yeah.
So we've returned to it many times. It didn't look really like bloodstain. It looked very clean in there. That's what I was thinking. Where is this?
Well, it's only because of Amanda's hair. That was the only thing that put my timeline. Because in Saw, when we see Amanda very briefly in Saw, she has long hair.
Yeah. She always has very unique hair. She has, like, in Saw 2, she has that spiky hair,
which I think is what they were going for in this film. Because in Saw 3, she has long hair again. Yeah. Saw 2 is the only time she has short hair.
And in Saw 1, she has, like, the ponytail. She has it, like, pulled back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it strikes me that it is set. I think it's set around Saw 2. I think Saw has happened.
Okay. Although at the same time, it doesn't. It feels like this is just kind of fleshing out the story, not necessarily needing to know where it actually sits.
That doesn't matter. No.
Yeah.
It's kind of around about that time.
It's around about that time. I agree. Okay, this is go it. Let's go into it.
Yeah.
Who do you want to go first?
Let's roll the dice.
Okay.
Do you want to be odds or evens?
I'll be evens.
All right. And whoever gets first goes with their first initial impressions. Where that dice up. Oh, fuck, the tension is killing me. Where's the dice at, man? Oh, screen up or screen down? I'm going to flip my phone. Up or down?
Screen down.
Screen down. That's you first then?
So I'm going first. Okay.
Yeah.
So, for starters, let me just say, we also made another prediction that I hope was going to happen, that we were going to see, for anyone who is a big fan of the Saw franchise, you will know this thing, but the old Lionsgate rusty cog logo at the beginning with the twisted pictures, and it was there. It was wonderful. From then, I was very happy to see it. And then, obviously, the film transpires, and what we get is almost feeling like a drama, a very personal story about John Kramer, like getting to the heart of the man. And we got to our first trap, right, where it's this. In my mind, it is John Kramer imagining putting someone in a trap, but he never actually does, right?
Yes.
And then it carries on. And I was like, that felt so out of place in this film.
It did, yeah.
Because I was seeing this as a drama. I didn't even feel like it was meant to be there, considering we're watching a Saw film.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just enjoying this story surrounding around John Kramer and he's like trying to get in some help. And I've got to say, just go straight into it. What transpired, I thought was great. I thought it was really good. Getting onto him actually tackling these people who wronged him. I thought each character was layered and interesting. Some of them were funny, just how they were delivering some of the lines, and I just had a really great time. I thought it was really good. Go for it.
I'm trying to play poker face or trying not to show my cards when you were speaking, as we do when we do it normally. But it's very hard to try and fake it. I feel the same way as you.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I think I got a sense just from your energy being beside me. It never felt for a moment that either of us wasn't enjoying this film.
Yeah.
And I never at any moment thought, oh man, what'd you do that for? Because any misstep, and there were some, it was like, this is completely true to all the missteps that they made in Saw films in the past. Like some dodgy characters, like, for example, not to go straight into a bad thing, but I did think that the female doctor and her husband as villains were a bit crap compared to the other characters. However, that is in keeping with how crap characters have been in Saw.
It's like this,
and it works
somehow. What I thought was, this is so theatrical, right?
Yeah.
Saw has always been so theatrical with all the traps and everything. These just really theatrical villains, and we've never got a villain really like this before, and it felt quite refreshing.
Anyway, so yes, it was a great entry in Saw canon, and it was much needed, and it was a breath of fresh air because it was something not quite like Halloween Ends, but it was a departure from the other Saw films. Absolutely. The gore is there for people who like the gore, so you're going to get that in spades. And they actually make it quite funny in moments, but they didn't lean into the humour too much. It was like it was that gallows humour, like something really dark is happening and you can't help but laugh. But the drama element of it, and that's not in a pretentious way. Like, if you haven't seen the film and you're listening to this, don't get it twisted. This is not a drama, but it is certainly the most dramatic of the Saw films with what they try and do with John Kramer. And I adored the fact that, going into what you said before we began, it's one of the few films where the villain is someone that you're meant to sort of empathise with. Jigsaw, the bad guy, you're meant to empathise with. This film, there's no bones about it. It's like, you are in Jigsaw's shoes. You are with him the whole way. And not even Jigsaw. They take pains never to really call him that, apart from like once or twice. He is John Kramer so much in this film, and he's not Jigsaw. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Yeah. I like seeing these tender moments. Really, really beautiful. It was. Yeah. I had a really great time with this film. I think this just shows you, right, when this is really at the heart of it, what you kind of love about the Saw franchise. When you're going back to it, you love this, like, this through line of John Kramer and his journey and where he's going, and this was just the embodiment of that. And it also it deepens the morals of John Kramer in this film. Yeah, it does. It deepens the morals of Amanda in this film. Yeah. And it also deepens the relationship between them both. I felt a bit of emotion between them in Saw 3, but I feel here it kind of heightens that. And also, it's great at layering why Amanda doesn't want to do what Jigsaw's doing. Yeah. Because she feels that no one ever will be redeemed. That's right. And you know what? She's not half wrong, because she herself was never... She knows in herself, you think you've redeemed me, but you haven't. Yeah. As she knows it because of how she is in 3, and then to an extent how she is in this. But it does do a great service to her character in this, because it actually redeems her a little more from those first 3 films, and it, as you say, it adds that extra texture and layer. Has to be said, though, when we first see Amanda, it is jarring, because she's meant to be playing a 20-something, and she does look 50-something. It does. I think absolutely. You do kind of feel it. You got when you see her up close, but then
credit to the film, because it goes on, and I'm like, now I'm in it.
You're in it, exactly.
I'm in it now, and it's fine. Same with John Kramer, right? When you first see him, I was like, man, he looks so old and frail, right? But then cut to like coming towards the end of the film, I'm like, now he just looks exactly like I remember him.
I know, this is just him. This is just
I swear
John
he doesn't
Kramer.
look like he's old anymore.
And it's that kind of film, right? If you're going to watch a film where people are able to cut body parts out and still be functional to an extent, I think we can buy people looking a little bit older than they should. Although, for the mid-credits thing, when Hoffman popped up, that man still looks very good. I
did give a little fist bump.
You were very happy to see him.
I was very happy to see Hoffman.
I was delighted to see him too. The funny thing is, I always thought, right, as much as I liked Saw, I was never totally bought into Hoffman as a great character, because when he was revealed as the villain in the fourth one, I was a bit like, oh, this is anticlimactic as the reveal. After so many great reveals at the end, it's like, and now this detective that you don't really know is also a thing. He's like, oh, this guy's not a very good actor, but then you learn to love him a bit.
Yeah.
And now, full circle, he can come in a mid-credit scene and be like, oh, this is very satisfying.
Be happy.
Yeah, very satisfying.
Should we talk through some of the set pieces, and then I feel like things will kind of reveal themselves.
Yeah.
Just
well, hang on. Should we talk about everything up to the traps?
Okay, yeah. Let's
in the
talk
round.
about the drama.
We don't have to go in order, but just in the round, that whole first 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's just so nice to see John again.
It is. It is lovely to see him. And also, this is definitely the Saw film that we spend the most time with him.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's the main character, as opposed to any of the good guys in the other ones.
It feels so different to any Saw film I've ever seen, because it is so focused on him and his kind of feelings and why he's doing this.
The only film that comes close to it is 3.
But it's kind of encapsulated by the trap, right? That he's forming, and the kind of conversation, because it's all about his relationship with Amanda, and I think that's kind of where that's coming from, because it's so focused on him and his illness and wanting to get better, and the struggle of being like, he really thought that he'd healed himself, and it was so sad to be like, oh, and he looks so upset.
But this is the other thing, right? Oh man. Okay, so I was trying to think this in a film. As you said, we got it on recording when we did the intro. You said, and they take his money. So you revealed that, and that was in my head that whole time when he went to the place. But I was thinking, even if you hadn't have said that, I'm not convinced for a second I would have ever bought that was legitimate. I feel like I would have always been thinking, this is not, you shouldn't be trusting them, right?
Yeah.
It felt that way.
Yeah.
So when that reveal happens, because they played the Saw music. They did what I said. They played the Saw twist music, and I'm like, that better not be the only one, because we knew that was coming, man. So when that happened, it's like, John, surely, right, this bandage that's around your head, like, they didn't even give him like a little incision in his skull to try and make it believable. They literally just wrapped a bandage around his head and were like, wait there a week and then take it off.
Oh, it's fully healed.
Like, surely at some point you would have touched it and gone, no, it's not very sensitive at all. Oh, actually, oh, look, that's riding up. Oh, all
Those
my hairs.
painkillers are real good.
Like, why didn't they even just actually shave his head for real?
Yeah, and just cut him and then stitch him back up again.
They left all the hair there.
Yeah. Which got me thinking as well, like, through the film. I was like, well, why is the guy who we met in the cancer like meetings?
Yeah.
Why did he get healed? I was thinking, I didn't even think that he was like bullshitting everyone.
I didn't, because he seemed so convincing, and I thought, oh, maybe he actually went to her dad and was healed. But then obviously the mid credits thing happened.
I was thinking, maybe he's just kind of willed himself better.
Yeah. And all of that stuff was nice. Seeing him in a cancer support group, even fleetingly, it's like, that's kind of cool, because we never got to see that perspective. I've got to say that it opened with him in an MRI machine. That's great. Like, we know where he's come from, we know what his deal is. Open it up with him. Fantastic.
Yeah.
When he goes to Mexico and meets all these Mexican characters, led by a Norwegian woman. Yeah. She's Norwegian or some kind of Eastern Europe, something like that.
She's got a very mixed kind of dialect. I feel like she probably lives in America, and she's like kind of
It's all a nice setup to get him out of America. He has hope. He has hope. But it's quite clear in this opening half hour, which this is what sort of threw me off balance a bit. And the scene in the hospital where he imagines the trap is, oh, you're already doing traps. This is
it was hard to place, wasn't it? Yeah.
Because he's already trapping.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh, this is where he learns. This is where he decides he's going to trap people. But it's like, no, he's already done it. So everything we were saying before about the things that set him on that path, that was already in motion.
Yeah. So this is kind of like filling in a little gap somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere between Saw 1, 2, or 3.
It was, as you said, it was him still refining the stuff, because when they do the traps in this, he's front and centre. Him and Amanda are walking among them, still playing tapes for some reason. I don't know why you play the tape when you're in the room.
I know, that's one thing I was thinking. That was one thing that threw me, because and then you got Billy rolling in. It's like, why is he here?
It's like, what, you've imported Billy from America for this? And also, he did incredible engineering work in that place, considering he never went home.
I kind of like, just to get a little bit onto traps. There's the first trap we get was the guy who was in the taxi, and he kind of duct tapes like scalpels to his hands. I kind of like that, because it felt like scrappy, like he just made a trap up that you could just do on the fly. Yeah. It didn't feel like he had to engineer that for a long time.
So I didn't fully understand exactly how that was working, because he said in order to get this off, you have to cut through tissue and muscle. So the pipe bombs were on his forearms. Yeah. How were they? What was he slicing through to remove them? What were the pipe bombs actually hooked into?
So I imagine it was under. So it was coiled round with some metal wire.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing they were coiled under some muscle or tendons. So he had to cut that away off to get and that's what you're saying. This is almost like a tumour that you've got to remove from you.
Remove the tumour. Yeah. Nice. And I did already, but I forgot immediately when it opens up after. Sorry, guys, we've already moved on. We're on to traps now. So when he wakes up, that guy, the taxi driver, the guy wakes up and he immediately goes, "Kramer, I already told you." I was like, "Huh? What? We haven't seen that." Yeah. But I forgot that a minute later. Obviously, it pays off later.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh, something's happening here. But it's moving too quickly. Oh, shit. I was like, come back to that, but I never did. And then he slices it all off, and he succeeds. He does what Kramer says and comes out with a medikit for him. Very considerate.
That's what. John, you're such a sweet man. You're such a sweet man.
He is. I said, when he comes off that airport, when he comes out the airplane, and the taxi driver's there, he's like, oh, he's just frailly raising his hand, happy to see him. It's like, you're Jigsaw, man. What's all this about?
That's what's so great, though. It's like, what other horror franchise are you rooting for this so-called villain?
Yeah.
And everyone else is the villain in the film, apart from the actual so-called villain. It's very clever.
It is. It is clever. And they absolutely make no bones about the fact that if you're going to enjoy this film, if you enjoy the Saw films, it's because you are on his side. If you don't like him for one reason or another, or if you judge him as an audience member, you certainly ain't going to like this film.
No. This is what I was... what I want to say as well is I am not surprised if people don't like this film.
No, I'm not.
Because it is so... This feels like a film for the fans.
Yeah, it does feel like a film for
Who goes to this film and for the first 30 minutes is watching this old man go around on some cancer therapy?
It was so anti-crowd pleaser, that first 30 minutes.
It's like, this is for me and Ben right now, for no one else.
I know. There were so many kids. Well, kids, they were like teenagers in the cinema with us. And they were fairly respectful, actually. But I was thinking, this is not the film that you thought you were going to see, is it? You're seeing a man 3 times your age just wandering from room to room going...
Doddery.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Gabriella.
It's true.
It was...
And there's so much... And for something like... How long ago was the actual Saw? It was saying Saw 3D. How long ago was that? That's like...
That was 2010, Saw 3D.
2010, yeah. So... None of these children probably even allowed to watch any films 5. Or even went live by then.
Yeah.
And there's so many characters and so many callbacks that it's like, you're not even getting this.
No.
And none of you have watched all these films.
And our first callback, even before the traps, our first callback, which is pleasant, is him getting on the phone and saying, "Hello, detective. I need
Yeah.
you to track down some
Yeah.
people for me." It's
Yeah.
like, okay. Oh, nice. Oh, is that the only thing we're going to get a Hoffman?
Yeah, that could have been throwaway for anyone. Could have been like, I don't know who
Yeah.
he's talking to, but yeah.
And then when Pighead is gathering the victims,
Yeah.
like, okay, so I liked it, but I didn't.
You didn't need to go back and see it. Is that what you're trying
We
to
didn't
say?
need to go back and see it with a sort of Saw montage style
Yeah.
thing. It's like
'Cause we knew.
it's Amanda, yeah. And it was like that is where it felt like if you're new to the series,
Yeah.
here's a bit of exposition for you. This person's significant to him.
Yeah.
But it's like we don't need to see it. We knew it was Amanda.
No.
We
Yeah.
knew it was, the minute that girl went into the toilet and there was a figure that sort of pushed past her, I'm like, that's Amanda.
Yeah.
And then when you see the boots underneath, it's like, that's Amanda.
Yeah,
we don't need
absolutely.
all of that.
Even still though, even if it's for exposition for people who don't know,
Yeah.
the fact that you see John take his mask off and then you see Amanda, it's like, well, now
Why'd you
he's
have
got
the
an
mask
apprentice.
on?
He's got an
Yeah.
apprentice, so that's all you need to know.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, here's Amanda. In case you need to ask her anything. The bathroom or anything like that.
And he starts collecting up people, doesn't he? So we basically go towards our proper main trap. But did you like the first trap we see, the eyeball trap? I feel it felt a bit over the top, but because it was in his mind,
Yes.
I was kind of like, oh, because he was imagining it.
It took me by surprise when the eyes were sucked out because I actually thought the trap was that I didn't realise it was a vacuum. I thought it was like a chemical thing.
Oh, okay.
And that chemicals, like,
Gonna
because
go
they were
into his
talking about him
eyes.
cleaning and it was going to go in his eyes and burn them out, which I think would have been more effective.
Yeah.
But the shock of the eyes suddenly coming out, I was like, oh, right, wasn't expecting that.
That was one of those like very theatrical.
But I did like the fingers getting snapped back.
Yes,
However,
very effective.
if you were in that trap, the minute you do the first one, and it's like,
You just go
fuck,
do.
exactly.
Do all of it at
You'd
once.
Go, yeah, you wouldn't go, let me have pain incrementally. No, just take it all at once, man. Your eyes are about to be sucked out of your head. Just take it all at once.
That was the only. I think that might have been the only trap where I felt like that. But because it was, I kind of let it go because I felt like it was just in John's head. Like he was imagining putting this guy through a trap.
But he absolutely would have done that
Yeah.
to him
Yeah.
if he'd taken that
Yeah.
one. And what did he say to him? He says, good choice.
Good choice.
So that's a little thing for the fans as well.
yeah.
Like, if you don't know what the film's about, you're like,
He got away.
yeah. Terrible people. He's got a knife for picking out these terrible people, that's for sure.
But we get them all in a room, and oh man, the first like trap for these group of people.
Yeah.
And it's the woman who took the blood.
Yes.
Took his blood, and she's got a wire that's about to cut her head off,
Yeah.
but she has to piano wire her leg off.
Yeah. What
And
was
then-
that saw called? A jiggy? A ginny? Or something like that.
Genie. I know it's what is it?
A ghillie saw. Ghillie saw.
A ghillie saw.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah,
It is like piano wire.
it is horrendous.
It's so horrendous.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it. It was horrendous.
And you know, incredible sound design because it is when you hear it, when you see it, it's ridiculous. Because again, it's the Psycho thing. For a long time, you don't see that saw going through her leg. You see her hands coming
Yeah.
in and out of frame.
Yeah, and
pumping
that is all you
furiously.
need.
And the sound effect is like, oh fuck, you
man.
feel that, yeah. I miss that. When that happened, I was like, yeah, this is the magic of Saw.
Yeah.
Like a lot of films try and imitate it with gore and
Yeah.
torture porn. They don't do it like Saw does it.
Nothing makes my toes curl more than Saw films. It's like it makes like god, man.
And then
Recoil.
And then it was so fucked up because she has to stick like a vacuum pump into the wound to suck out
It's
the
like
bone marrow.
liposuctioning her leg.
What did he say? He said the
marrow. He said marrow. So that would have been it would have been in the bone.
So all that blood was coming out of the tube and filtering through that like sieve, and the marrow was collecting. That is the grossest thing they've done.
To weigh down.
Jesus.
To weigh down. So it actually had to have a certain amount of marrow on this weighing
and
scale.
it's just congealing there like that Fight Club fat liquid that Tyler Durden's bagging up. But she's too late.
She was too late. Head
Severed the
goes
head.
off. And I love the body dropping off.
I know, very satisfying. It's like we're back. We're back. This is Saw.
This is what actual Saw is. But what I love all through this, you're getting this general, the saw traps you love,
Yeah.
but you're getting these exchanges between John and Amanda.
Yeah, interspersed, yeah.
And it's just so nice to see them together. And kind of, you can see in this one especially how Amanda's kind of really taken to John and almost sees him like a father, like a leader.
Yeah.
And even to show a little bit of sensitivity to Amanda, which we never got before.
No.
About how it's going towards the maid, I guess this lady was playing, who's actually a drug addict.
Yeah.
And she's like, this was me. This was me in this situation. So I don't feel like she should be put for a trap because I had to be put for a trap, but I don't feel like I deserve to be put for a trap.
Yeah.
Compared to all these other people. And I kind of like that.
Yes. It humanised it rather than just
yeah.
make her like a master villain that's just his accomplice regardless.
Regardless of it was nice to see her being so like brutish towards people and like...
It was. And she was caught between being that Saw 3 Amanda, who was much more like... Overall, she was quite cold and more in control, but she was still emotionally... I had to be careful how I say it. She was like emotionally fragile because she was not happy with seeing that female doctor with John. Remember, it made her go off into the room and like cut on her thighs and stuff.
Yeah.
So she was still vulnerable and troubled. However, in 3, she's more in control. Whereas here, she is that balance between you've saved me and I owe you and I want to go this path with you, but oh fuck, this is a bit much. Should we be doing this? Should we be doing that? And he keeps saying, how are you going to do everything else I have planned for us if you can't do this? He's testing her but not testing her.
It's nice to see him just having a cuddle.
A cuddle and a tear. He's had 2 tears by that point. He teared up in the first 30 minutes.
I don't think we've ever seen John Kramer cry before.
No, and you said the final shot of the Saw film will be a tear coming from his eye. We got 2 in the first fucking 40 minutes.
It was nice to see that, but also it was great just to see, how this has pushed Amanda to be where she ends up being, where it almost, she becomes power hungry. It's like, I'm in control. I don't feel like any of you deserve this. Yeah. Like, deserve freedom. Deserve to get out of your situation because you've kind of brought this upon yourself. So you deserve what's coming to you.
And particularly because each of them had done a personal injustice to him. Mm-hmm. Whereas later victims are like, well, you've done bad stuff to other people.
Just showing you how much she loves John.
Yeah.
Which I feel like, I felt that. I feel like she loves John.
Yeah. Because it's the one person who saved her from this desperate situation.
She had no one else.
Yeah. This is all the fascinating stuff about morals, like if what he's doing is good or not.
And and that is another thing that we get a lot in here, the morals of John, and especially in those final scenes when the little boy gets involved.
I know. Well, let's come to that.
Yeah.
Well, let's come to that.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
So I think before we go on to the next trap, the other guy who we saw getting the neck, or who we thought was having a tumour removed from his neck, shows up. Now, did you have an inkling at this moment in time that he might be in on it?
Yes. The fact that he showed up, because I was thinking, how does he know where they are? And then also, because she did a phone call, I was like, well, he suddenly appeared.
No, interesting.
So I did feel like there was some kind of connection, but I feel like because it was taking so long, I was like, oh, maybe he's not. It kind of just took it too long to reveal it.
I thought when we first saw him with the thing over his neck, I was like, this guy's in on it. But then the minute he turned up, I thought, oh no, he's definitely not. He's there. This is just like a fly in the ointment. This is something that they didn't account for. Yeah. So I was totally blindsided by the fact. So I wasn't even thinking when he was in there anymore that he was connected to them. But I did think, oh, this is an interesting thing because now this is someone who has also been wronged by them. And what's John going to do here? Because he doesn't kill innocent people, who this guy is at this moment in time. And when he said, this is your game, now you just need to not pull the gun, I thought, yeah, but you can't kill this guy because he's not done anything wrong.
Yeah,
so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But the film's already... John knows that this guy is one step ahead.
That's it. Because he was just there, and the fact they were keeping him in there, it did feel like this guy has a role to play. I did kind of think maybe the test is whether he's going to kill the Doctor,
Right.
like the lead
Because then
lady,
if he does it...
because that's his test.
Yes.
I think maybe that is why he's here, but I did kind of think he was in on it.
I'm so hardwired to kind of look for the twist in these Saw films that I was like, is there some way that this is Hoffman? Because he had the builds, and I was like, we already know this detective thing. I was trying in my mind. I was like, is something there? Is there something? My mind
You
couldn't
got plastic
catch up
surgery?
yeah, shave that, change his British accent. I had a tumour removed the size of my knob.
Silly line.
Silly line. It's like,
A line I did like.
Go on.
Where he looks at the woman who's just been decapitated. And he goes, "We don't make them kill themselves. You cut off her fucking head."
yeah, that was
It
funny.
was good delivery the way he delivered it. I don't even know if that was the actual way he said it, but it was funny regardless.
It was fun. It was funny. And also the other thing that was funny, I didn't want to laugh because at first I was like, oh, come on. And then I was like, this is funny, is when she cuts out the guts
Yes.
of that woman and
It was
uses it as a
good.
rope around the
It
table.
was
I was
clever.
like, this is funny.
It's like they're using someone's intestines as
Yeah.
a rope to move a table. That is just funny.
And there's nobody involved in Saw and the making of this film who's like, well, this is very serious. This is a moment. We believe this is how it is. They're like, no, this is meant to entertain you. Does it entertain you? Yes, it fucking does. Well done. That works.
We've got our rope.
I could have done without her saying the line.
Okay.
I liked it all. I could have done without. I got the rope because it's like, yeah, we know. We see it. We get that now.
Before we move on to the other traps, what did you think? What did you think of her?
Well, the question that I had, but I couldn't work it out, was every time it was someone's test, she was always the first person to go on, do it. And I kept thinking, why are you so concerned? As long as you do your trap, you're fine. Why are you so insistent on them doing theirs? And it's because she knew that they weren't going to get out of it, I suppose. Although, no.
I felt like she just wanted to hurry it on because she wanted to get out. But she knew that unless they did it, she couldn't get out. Although she did seem a bit like, go on.
Yeah, do it,
like
yeah.
helping them out because she could have...
She could have just been like,
Like when the maid was up in the air on the chains, she told her, "Don't cut your hand, like don't smash your hand up first because you'll fall to the ground."
yeah, I mean, yeah. So there's one of them things that doesn't quite add up unless it's something we're missing. Not a major thing.
But I did quite like her though because I don't think we've ever had such a what's the word? She's very assertive. She doesn't get too scared,
No.
and she's quite like standoffish against John all the time.
She was a sociopath.
So I quite like it. I don't think we've ever had that before.
No. And it did make me think the fact that they were because they were clearly going to be saving her for last. It did make me think, how is she going to approach her trap? Like, is she going to do it in like a heartbeat? That's what I thought it was going to do. Is like she was going to just do her trap in a heartbeat, maim herself in some horrific way, and be out of it. And then it would be a case of John having to be like, well, you got out of my trap, but I fucking hate you, and I actually want to kill you still.
Oh, that's an interesting.
But he doesn't do hate. Like, that's the way I thought it was going.
He would have handed her the medikit.
Yes,
That's what he would have done.
Amanda will take you to the hospital.
Give my money back.
Next trap was the man who was very funny. What was his name?
That his whole set piece was really good.
It was very good.
The way he was delivering, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to stop the tape. He stops the tape halfway and says, I can't do it.
He's like, what was that word he said? What was that? What does he ask me to do?
Yeah, that
Grey
was good.
matter. Get your brain.
I don't know how to do it. And then when he does it, he just goes straight into the skull with it. as well.
Horrible.
He doesn't even slowly go. He just takes it and he goes straight into the skull. And also, in Saw, they can all perfectly precision circular holes. They do that in Saw 3 as well.
Yeah.
Perfect circles. They're not jaggedy at all. And just easily remove the top. Pull it out with tweezers.
This was certainly a callback to Saw 3. Just
it was
that
a
little
callback, yeah.
that little skull removal.
Yes.
Not as good as Saw 3 though.
No.
It was so visceral, that Saw 3. Like
It was.
the cutting the membrane over
And the
the
bone
skull,
sound
and
when it was
washing
hitting it.
the
Yeah.
blood away. It was very good. Yeah, the
This
bone
is-
sound.
Loads of people dismiss Saw, maybe, no, not rightly, for them rightly, but because they can't stomach gore. And if you can't stomach gore, then that that's fine. But it doesn't mean that these are bad films because they show it. Because they're part of the entertainment factor is showing it. And that it's not like, oh, well, that's cheap. If you took the gore out of these sort of films, they would lose something. Because the gore is so embedded in what he's doing, because it is about sacrificing yourself. If we don't see the sacrifices, you're losing a huge part of what these films are about.
Yeah,
we have to see it.
Yeah.
But I did keep thinking, when they release the Blu-ray of this, there's going to be like unrated cut. You know, some of these are going to be extended sequences. We're going to see a lot more.
I think that's why it kind of worked really well in this one, because of the fact that you get these horrific torture scenes, but then it's balanced with this really sweet John Kramer. You like, I know. This tenderness of this man. You're like, oh, he's just trying to help him.
That is the beauty. That is the beauty of it. It does, and it keeps going on with the moral thing, because then after this guy, who also doesn't make it out of the trap, how does he die?
But a little bit too far with that trap.
The Aztec thing.
The Aztec mask coming over. I was like, didn't need that.
John going around the flea market. I'll give you 12 pesos.
Give me that Aztec mask.
And like, where is it? Where is his workshop? These are the things. Like, if you are rationally looking at this and going, it's not a good movie, it's because you're going, oh, how did he make all that stuff in Mexico? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We don't care. He's an engineer. He can just do it.
He does.
He knows.
He
has
that
contacts.
boy's bike.
Exactly.
Fixed the wheel on the bike.
Oh, and going back to that boy's bike, I knew when he said, "What's the Spanish word for pool?" I thought this is going to pay off later somehow.
It's a Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun,
Mexican
exactly.
Chekhov gun.
Yeah. But we'll get to this. But when it was happening, I was so confused. I didn't understand what was going on. But we'll come to that.
It took me a while to understand, but then I was like, oh yeah, I get it.
It didn't explain it so well until something was explained afterwards. Anyway.
But yeah, he died. This guy in the Aztec mask.
Aztec mask guy died.
Bit extravagant. John didn't have to go that far.
Yeah.
Could have just put electricity in his face.
Yeah. And we have the moral thing again up in the room, because the other guy, who we think is innocent at this point, going, oh, barbaric, blah, blah, blah. But John is still very much like, we're not killing anyone. These people are making a choice. Mm-hmm. And we accept that John is a dangerous man. Like, he would probably put you or I in a trap for something we've done. He would put us in a trap.
No.
Well, who knows?
He doesn't put everyone in a trap.
Well, but, like, he puts people in a trap. He was going to put that man in a trap for stealing a fucking ring out of a drawer. Come on, man.
Yeah, but he...
I know, it was like
getting his eyeballs
someone who was dying.
Out. Yeah. For stealing a watch.
Literally anything, you're in the trap. He pushed in line, you're in the trap.
I don't even know why his eyeballs got sucked out. What was the relevance?
Greedy eyes.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, shit.
But yeah.
But you're still with him.
You're still with him, yeah.
However,
of course.
What was interesting, another interesting thing that Amanda did here was try and buy like Gloria some time. Gabriella.
Yes.
Because you made him go first. So it's
bring
her,
it
on her turn.
Yeah.
Didn't help matters, because Gabriella went on that horrendous
she got burnt up with the radiation.
Now, if you take the radiation thing out of it, this goes back to like old school Saw 1, the first Saw type trap. Very simple, a chain here and a chain there. And I thought the decision was going to be, you have one free hand, do you chop off your foot or do you chop off your hand? That's what I thought it was going to be. But then they brought this radiation. What was it? Not radiation.
Yeah,
what was
it was radiation. Yeah.
What was it like? Just a radiation gun? Why was it a radiation gun?
It's because it was for, that's what they used to, I don't know,
chemotherapy.
The chemotherapy, yeah. Because they had that machine at that warehouse where they were doing the operations. So that was just a light bulb flickering.
They were tricking him anyway.
They wouldn't have bought
We're doing
machine.
the radiation now. Well, let's buy the actual machine for it, shall we? Let's try it, just in case we can kill him along the way.
We'll use all that money that we...
What did you think of this trap?
It was pretty simple.
Yes. I didn't care for this one.
It didn't do much. It wasn't very inventive.
No.
And the girl was a little bit silly for trying to smash her hand out first. I was thinking, you're going to smash her face on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Just drop down dead. However, if she had dropped down on the floor, then she would have only have had to break her hand because the gun wouldn't have come down, would it? The gun was just on her.
That's because John was like, well, common sense, you would do your foot first.
Yeah. I didn't like the effect of the radiation on her face. That felt...
It felt like it was a little bit CGI.
Yeah.
But then once she swung away, it looked like it was the actual makeup effect.
Yes, that's true.
But when it was happening, you could see like it didn't look. True. It looked a bit shiny and
I liked the fact that the gun moved with her
because that was a little chuckle.
Yeah, that was a little chuckle. Yeah, he's like, I've already assumed that will happen.
Yeah, don't worry,
it will follow you. And then she drops down.
She does, and that's the last one, right?
That's the last one.
So now we're and then as that happens, the guy gets a gun.
Yep.
Which they hid in the cupboard, and we realise that they are actually a couple.
A couple.
I didn't like the line.
I would die for you, baby.
I would die for you, baby.
Yeah, I know.
The baby bit.
Like it. Yeah.
And also, I'd die for you. It's like, oh.
I know. You got to say that in this situation. And now let's just pause here a minute, right?
Yeah.
Because at this moment, for the next 15 to 20 minutes 15 minutes of the film, I was following what was happening.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was a step behind where the filmmakers thought I should have been. So everything wasn't quite as effective as it would be if I understood the situation.
I was trying to work out. For one, I was like, why are they just not killing them?
Yeah.
Why are they just chaining Amanda up and just leaving her to do nothing? Why are they walking away and leaving these people and going up to the office? It's like...
Yes, why are they doing that for sure? But it's like we weren't privy at this point to the fact that Jigsaw and Amanda already knew this was a couple and that they were planning on catching these two. So what I didn't understand at this point was when John got put in the trap, and then the boy comes along outside and goes in the trap with him. I was like, well, what was that going to be?
That was going to be them two in the trap.
Right, but you don't know that until the reveal 10 minutes later. Yeah. So at that point, my mind's going, oh, hang on, something's not adding up. And I was like, oh, is this a fault with the film, or is this something we haven't learned?
Yeah.
And I was doing that. Then it got muddied with this whole what the push and pull mechanism meant.
I was so confused. I was like, so if you pull it, you save the other person.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I think the idea was that
it was like tug of war.
Yeah, tug of war.
Yeah, that's
the
what
idea
it was.
is that the two people would try and push to push the other person under, but instead, and that's a very lovely sentiment.
Yeah,
but I just didn't know that it was until after the fucking thing had happened, which was a shame. When he was saying to him, "Don't pull," I was like, "All right, there's that line paying off," but I'm like, I don't know what that means. And then John goes back in the blood, and I'm like, all that blood's all over his face, and then the kid pulls it, and he's got blood, and I'm like, how's someone dying here? What's happening? Does someone drown in blood? Like, I still don't understand. Is that what?
That's what would have happened. Yeah,
you would just drown in lots of blood.
It's like being waterboarding, and he couldn't breathe, and you just inhale it.
Where did he get all that blood from?
Why does it never stop?
Like literally, he was just slaughtering cattle all over the place. I gotta make my trap.
He did traps with the cattle as well. It was only ones who didn't pass the test.
Hello, Daisy. Oh shit!
Very good.
So
I agree with you. It was very like it all made sense in the end.
Yeah.
But there was something that they probably could have done something in the storytelling that helped you follow it a little bit better.
Just one thing.
There was something that was that. Because I was the same. I was trying to work out, and then the whole thing, the push or pull thing came in. I was trying to work that out as well.
And I did like the push or pull aesthetic and that idea. But so what they're saying is, if the guy, her husband, didn't pull the gun out and say, "You guys get in the trap," the plan would have been, if I understand correctly, for them to take the husband down and put him in...
I know, and he wouldn't. Why would he want to do that?
I know, why would he agree to that?
Put me in the trap. It's true because they let him free,
They had no gun. There was
and
no bullets.
surely he'd already passed his test at that moment.
I know, but he was tricking him. He was tricking him at that moment when he said, "Oh, this is your test." It wasn't really his test, was it? Because
Yeah.
they knew that he was a baddie.
Yeah.
They knew he was part of the whole shebang. But
And the fact of the matter is, okay, so there is a lot of like wishful thinking at the end and hoping it all plays out because they have to hope that they put John in the trap with a little boy, or maybe put Amanda in the trap as well. They obviously didn't realise the little boy was going to come along.
yeah,
Not just shoot them and kill them, or just leave them there.
yeah,
And so there was a lot of a lot of wishful thinking, and then as well, why would he go into the trap? And because he pulled a gun on them,
yeah. Which is his gun.
and they know it's not loaded.
They know it's not loaded. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just be like, oh, let's put him in the trap
Yeah, exactly.
instead of giving the key to unlock him? I see. Yeah, I think it kind of
That's
falls.
true.
That bit falls apart.
That
a little
is
bit.
true.
It has fallen apart. That has fallen apart. I don't think that. I don't know why they would have done that because
Maybe
it's too risky. It's very risky.
Hey, he's got cancer in the brain. He may have just forgotten that he replaced the bullets, took the gunpowder out of the bullets, and was like, "Oh, he has a gun on me. Come on, Amanda." Because did Amanda know that he'd taken the bullets out of the gun? He didn't.
I imagine
no,
so.
he didn't, because in the later flashback, he says, "I promise you, it will work out one way or the other."
Okay, yeah.
So maybe he was like, "It's more effort for me to now try and whatever the plan was to get him into that trap, whether they were going to inject him or what." Maybe he was like, no, because he wouldn't have known the little boy was going to come in, or that they would then go up into the office without him. And that the guy wouldn't just try and shoot and be like, "There's no fucking bullets in this gun."
It's true. It
doesn't hold up to scrutiny.
No, not that bit.
But
Most of it does, apart from that bit.
Hang on. But the straight up plan would have been, after Gabriella dropped, she got out, would have tried to get Amanda to take her to the hospital, was my understanding, because he was like, she needs to go to the hospital. Let Amanda take. I think he said.
And they basically they got Gabriella killed.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, by releasing the doctor, because she stepped on her neck as soon as she got out the chain.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. So if they had just drugged that fucking guy, Gabriella would have gone to the hospital.
Yeah. Do you reckon there was a little bit in here of John trying to make Amanda trust the process and not give her all the information, just so she can kind of trust them making their own decisions rather than
allow the choices?
Yeah.
Because that was his game. Yeah. That was the guy's game.
So maybe would that have made sense if Amanda didn't know and to trust everything, and she didn't know there was no bullets in the gun.
Yeah. Which she didn't.
So John is the only one. So they walk down and they would have uncuffed her because he thinks there's a gun on her.
Yeah.
So that works out.
Yeah.
Because that is part of this storytelling is John trying to get Amanda to trust the process.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and because you're going to be my...
It's going to work out regardless because we have it planned. However, so let's go with that. He was like, trust the process, because at this moment in time, John knows it doesn't matter. Even if they put us in shackles, there's no bullets in that gun, and we can get out of the shackles with this secret lock, because they just lift it and they come out of it. And at some point, they will possibly go into the office to get
because they kept mentioning the money's upstairs.
Yes, okay, so fine, all right, so we'll give him that. So he would be like, trust the process. But then, when that little boy comes in...
Yeah. John even says, this wasn't part of the plan.
This wasn't part of the plan. At that moment in time, knowing that that gun isn't loaded, what could John do? He's weak. He's too weak. He can't overpower both of these people, potentially, considering the guy's got a blade as well. That's the thing. She quickly gets the blade out the minute that he uncuffs her.
And immediately kills Gabriella, so she can just kill people. But John almost has to trust that she'll just want him to go in the trap.
Yeah,
And I guess John would have assumed that Amanda would have gone in the trap as well,
that's true.
rather than the little boy.
Yeah, why were they like, right, just you, we don't know what this trap is, but somehow we're going to put this little boy in it with you. How do you know what this trap is?
I don't know.
Even when it was going on, we're like, what the fuck is this trap? It's like a seesaw of blood.
I quite like it once you know what it is, though.
Yeah, once you know what it is, it's good.
It works if it's got two people who don't want to die in it.
Yes. And it's very sweet. The little boy was like, I don't want you to die.
And that is the balance of John's morals. He's like, you're a hero.
You're a warrior.
You're a warrior. It's like, you
Now-
saved me.
Now, that little boy, right? Here's a theory.
Okay.
So I told Paul that I had a theory that I wanted to check before we came on air.
Okay.
But I haven't checked it, so we could have this conversation live. The way that he said you're a warrior and the connection that he has with this boy makes me think this boy, 20 years later, is going the path of Jigsaw. Makes me think this boy is the villain in Spiral.
In Spiral.
Because I can't remember exactly, but it doesn't matter what backstory they give that villain in Spiral, because he could make all of that shit up. Like, he was a kid in Mexico, like, he was 8.
Yeah.
20 years past, 28, that's about the age of this kid. And I'm pretty sure, I can't remember because I only saw it the one time, but I'm pretty sure that that detective was a Latino.
I can't remember.
That's what I wanted to check, just to see if he was or wasn't. But
Should we fact check quickly?
let's fact check. I mean, it won't be the name. I don't know how we'd find out. It's just what nationality the actor is, I guess.
We'll watch Spiral again, and then all he'll be saying for the whole thing is, pull.
Yeah, imagine. Now imagine that was
Would you
the
like
case.
the film more?
Like Hodor, like the hold the door thing. And you're like, oh shit! All that time, it was never about
We
Chris
wouldn't
Rock.
have known.
So, I mean, okay, I don't know. So the guy's called Max Minghella. They say he's an English actor, but I mean, he can pass for Hispanic.
Yeah.
I'm fairly
I can see that.
sure. I'm fairly sure in the film
I can see that. Yeah, for sure.
he's like.
What is his name in Spiral? Or has he got a Mexican name? If he's got like a really American name, I mean, he could have changed his name. He has all that money.
That's what I mean. I think he would fake it. He'd give it like an American thing, wouldn't he? If he was trying to cover up who he was, like if he went from. He's called William.
Schenk.
I can't see his full name, man.
Schenk. Detective William Schenk.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember, because the film's so fucking bad, I can't remember what his rationale is for why he's the killer in Spiral.
I mean, that is it's a great shout, considering that the writers are the same writers as
They
Spiral.
might want to tie it in a little. And the fact that...
It makes sense that it's the film after Spiral as well.
Yeah, and the final shot is John and Amanda leaving with this child. who
Would
he
that
said,
make you
"You're gonna be a great
like
warrior."
Spiral more if that was the future?
Fractionally.
Little fraction.
But they're clearly not carrying on with Spiral, so no, it's like a dead end, isn't it? It's like a dead end. But yes, yeah. I did think when they brought their child in, I was like, this is very cool, because this is the first time we've seen Jigsaw in one of his own traps, and a child. This is a new dynamic. And it's also a case of, this is very, even though it might have been set after the bathroom, this is Jigsaw trying stuff out, because veteran Jigsaw would never have allowed that to happen. He would not be in his own trap, and there would be no child in danger.
It does feel like him almost, as I say, making Amanda trust the process and seeing how this all plays out, rather than interjecting herself and making things
That's true. Yeah.
happen herself.
It's true. Now, we said what was going to be the big music twist reveal thing.
Yeah. Okay, when I watched it, I was like, it's not that big of a twist.
No.
It's not. But at the same time, I was watching it and I was watching the twist and I was like, but everything else has been so
It's
great
been
that I don't care.
Yeah, I know. Yes, exactly. I know.
Because I got
That's it.
something in this. The biggest twist in this film was we're getting a dramatic take on a Saw film.
I know.
That was the biggest twist for me.
There is no twist in the film at any point, actually, is there?
No.
Apart from the reveal that this couple...
But you knew John was going to be one step ahead of them.
Yeah.
So...
And you just don't care about them enough
Yeah.
for it to be a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, when the music was playing and they were having all these flashbacks, it's like, you are now... All you're doing is playing this iconic music over a climactic bit in the film. You're not playing it over a twist, because it isn't really a twist. It's just like a slight revelation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a far cry from someone getting off the bathroom floor that you think is dead. They're never going to beat that.
Absolutely. And the fact of the matter is, our actual big villain of this film, survives.
Yeah.
One of the only people who survive.
Yes.
The only person who survives.
The only person who survives. It is an interesting choice to make it quite clear that she survives.
That's what I thought. That's what I felt like, because we went into the credits and I was like, there must be an end credit scene. We got one, but it was unrelated to her, which makes you think, are we going to get another Saw film next year?
Yeah.
She feels like she could come back and she's like...
So do you think they're going to create a new timeline, which is what John was doing
in Mexico.
alongside what he was doing alongside
Mexico chapter
2 and 3 before he was sick in bed in 3. They're just going to create a long timeline of films that took place between 2 and 3. But what can she do? Because she's not. She's a wicked person with villainous intent.
Yeah.
She's not like a super villain.
I mean, she's a psychotic.
She's a psychotic, yeah. She's willing to sacrifice anyone. I wonder if they were going to carry on this story and they were going to bring in that Spiral guy as Carlos, if they would have her played by another actress who's 20 years older coming up against him again. Because as far as he's concerned, if he wants justice and if he is that guy, if he is that detective, he might try and track her down, and we'd identify her because she'd be all scarred down the face.
Yeah, yeah.
And an older woman would be like, I was a child, you put me in that fucking trap with
the direction.
Jigsaw.
But then it's also, I can't remember the morals of the Spiral serial killer, whether...
It was an immoral fucking film, man.
I think he was just... Did he actually put people through traps they can escape from? I don't feel like Samuel Jackson in the end of that film could escape.
Couldn't. No. Samuel Jackson.
He was like a puppet or something.
That is literally the only thing I remember from that film is Samuel Jackson as a puppet. What would I do? All I know is Chris Rock just turned up and was like, I'm getting divorced, I'm depressed, and I'm going to make comments about how fucking depressed I am.
The whole script's about me getting divorced. But then, man, it fucking ends like a drama.
It does.
The way Saw X comes up on the screen, it's like
a slow fade-in.
Heartfelt slow fade.
Yeah.
It's like
They come
into
in-
the sunlight.
And it parallels that line that he says earlier on when he says something like, there goes he said, I can't remember what, it's like a poetic line about something about, doesn't matter when the sun sets, tomorrow it will rise again. And she says to him, you will rise again. And it's like, that's the whole Saw thing of, you'll be reborn if you make it through these traps. If you make this choice, you will be reborn, a new appreciation of life. And like when he comes out, it's like, okay, now I know what I have to do. It has to just be justice. Forget trying to live. I will die, but I am going to send my message of... What is his message? Appreciate your life.
Yeah.
Or you'll be in a terrible fucking bloody mess somewhere. In the most horrendous way.
Or you won't have a life.
Would you say that this film added more to the mythology of who he was, or do we kind of, even though it was good and added a little backstory, it didn't really tell us much more about him? Like I
think it just added an emotional depth to John. I don't think it really fleshed out any more story we needed to know.
No.
It just adds a lot of emotional weight to Amanda, John, and their relationship.
The only thing I would say, and I don't know it because I'd have to watch the other Saw films, is that even though we have a bit of the backstory, like we were talking about before, where his wife loses the baby and stuff like that, whenever we see Jigsaw in the Saw films, it's always like, oh, he's the great villain. Mm-hmm. The music kicks in, he's wearing the big hooded cloak with the red lining. Mm-hmm. He gets off the floor and it's like, this is a master villain. Cold, calculated. Yeah. He sits there, he's always in control. Whereas here, we are seeing him doddering around and sort of like pulling at his cardigan and stuff as he's walking into rooms. There was this really weird choice where he has the cardigan on and he's sort of like, it's around his belly. He's sort of picking at it. I'm like, what was the choice there? This is a fucking Jigsaw. And I appreciated it, but it's also like, this is so far removed from the Jigsaw that we know from the other films.
I think they're just really trying to add like a sensitive side to him. This isn't a villain.
No.
This is someone who has been given a life sentence, or what would you call it?
A death sentence.
A death sentence. And basically, and feels like he needs to show other people that you need to appreciate what he hasn't got.
Yeah.
And that is like the heartfelt message that he's trying to put across in a violent manner.
In a violent manner, yeah. It's good. I dig it. Hard justice. We love it. Do you think there could be fair criticism? I think the filmmakers possibly thought it, which is why they put a white woman in control of it all. But the fact that all these people are Mexican who did this bad thing to him, and that he had to go to Mexico for this alternative medical procedure, and that all these dodgy Mexicans are to blame.
Potentially, yeah. It's there is a little bit something sketchy there, but at the same time, it's like, as John said, because Amanda feels the same way. I feel like Amanda tries to say that like this lady, she's just addicted to drugs. She's in a situation where she's a victim herself. But John's idea is, well, she still made that choice.
Yeah, free will.
Yeah,
she had free will.
And not only has she decided to take drugs, she's also sacrificed someone else's thinking they're going to survive this treatment.
Yeah.
For just money to get drugs.
Exactly. She was very selfish.
Yeah.
It's true.
Very strange her bringing the tequila over. Yeah. And then they're like, you can't drink that.
You can't drink that. Yeah, exactly. But maybe that's just her being, because she is a drug addict.
Yeah.
There, she can't really take her drugs. It's like, you've got to be clean while we're doing this job. You can have your drugs afterwards. But so she's like, oh, maybe some tequila. If I bring some tequila, maybe I'll get a bit. Like, let's have it. I thought the drug was going to be in the tequila.
Same, yeah.
When they were operating on the back of his head, and you saw the video of the operation,
it looked very grey. It looked like it was infected.
I know, and this is what confused me. They tilted the screen away, and he, like, as he was fading out, and they were like, "We're just going to give you some more drugs to knock him out again." I was like, "This is going to pay off. Like, this is going to be the twist. There's something more in there, or there is no tumor."
Imagine.
Yeah, and I was thinking, oh, what if the twist is he was never dying, he was alive, like he didn't, the cancer wasn't there, but why is he faking it? And I've got cancer.
Why did the guy's brain open in 3?
Yeah, I forgot that he actually needed that to be done.
Relieve the pressure. I've got a headache. It's true.
Yeah. But it made me think of Hard Candy. That's why. Why I was like, "This is definitely not fucking legit."
Yeah, yeah. And at the same time, it's like, why go to the extent to fake this thing, right? Not shave his head.
I know. Literally, like, Don't worry, he's not going to try and touch it or nothing.
You're going to
just wrap
fake
a
the
bandage.
screen, turn the screen away, say, we're going to bring you in and out of consciousness.
It's like, don't cut him though. That won't be nice for him. You're fucking stealing all his money. Just cut his head back open back there, so there's some blood or something on the bandage. Because surely, after a day, he'll be like, "It's amazing that I feel no pain." And also, when he pulls that bandage off, there's not even a hint of it being applied with tape or anything. It's just so loosely there. He just pops it off like a hat. It's like, "Oh right."
One thing I could possibly say is that because he did at points say to Amanda, I can't get rid of these headaches. So maybe because he's been feeling all these headaches all along, he would have been like,
Yeah,
well, my head, there's pain in my head.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. I missed out on that. I just thought something that might give us a closer indication about exactly where it's placed. When he's chilling out after the so-called operation and he's doodling on the park bench, he draws a sketch of
he's the Saw 3 one.
Which one is it?
Saw 3. It's the guy who runs over the kids.
The judge.
It's the kid in the car.
The black guy.
Yeah, and it's the one that twists the head and twists all the limbs. That's what it was drawing.
So that goes to suggest it's
before 3. So it has to be before 3 anyway, because that's where Amanda dies.
It's 2/3 then, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has
to be before 3. Disregard 3, because 3 is the whole segment where Amanda dies.
But is it before 2 or after 2? That's where it sits. It sits somewhere there. And they don't have to define it if they want to add another 1 or 2 films. Would you be up for another 1 or 2 films?
Absolutely.
Set around that time? I would be.
Absolutely.
They're going to make that woman his nemesis. He's got this villain we never knew about this whole time.
This is the real villain.
Yeah. What's it called? What's it called when they have a arch enemy? When a villain has an enemy? Whatever that thing is. Isn't there a name for that?
The hero?
I thought it was a name for it.
But the villain has an enemy. It's the hero.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, John is the hero.
Yeah, he is.
I was very satisfied.
I was very satisfied.
I was more satisfied than I thought I was going to be. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that it's got a good rating on stuff. That means it's been well received.
Yeah, absolutely.
Across the board, it's good. And it's because it's doing something new and different. You can always alienate a fan base when you do that, like we saw with Halloween Ends, but...
It's clearly not alienating people. No. I mean, I'm going by Letterboxd, so... Yeah. It's got a 3.5 on Letterboxd. I mean, that's a straight 7.
7.1 or 7.2.
It's good for a fucking number 10 in the horror franchise.
There isn't I can't think of a better 10th installment apart from maybe Jason X. It's better than Jason X. Jason X is a lot of fun. Katie, if you're listening, we still love Jason X. Don't get that twisted. This was better than Jason X, though.
We got one more thing to talk about. The end credit scene.
Yes.
So we said, we might have said in this, but we said after the cinema. It's the one thing we did speak about, that we're wondering, well, why are they using the bathroom, and where is this placing in the use of bathrooms? Because we've seen it 3 times in the Saw films. We've got Saw 1.
So it's in Saw 1.
Saw 2.
Yeah. Saw...
And then Donnie Wahlberg.
The end of Saw 2. Oh, no, Saw 2 is Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, but
Saw
Donnie
3
Wahlberg...
is Donnie Wahlberg.
We wake up with... no, the start of the film is Donnie Wahlberg smashing his foot with the...
That's Saw 3.
The toilet. Yeah.
Because Saw 2 was Donnie Wahlberg, wasn't it? And then at the end, Amanda jumps on him and injects him in the neck.
So what happens to Donnie Wahlberg?
So he's put in the chain in the third one.
Yeah.
He smashes his foot off in the pre-credit stuff. We never see him again for the rest of the film.
Until 4.
Then we see him in 4, and you find out that Hoffman picked him up and was like, you're going in another trap for some reason. Because John was dead, I guess.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to make you stand on a block of ice for some reason.
That was good, though.
It was good.
The Donnie Wahlberg head smash.
They were all good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So anyway, we were just trying to work out where this bathroom scene places. The bathroom looked very clean. Love seeing those lights turn on. It's always lovely to see the boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
The lights.
The camera goes, because that's exactly how it was in the first.
Yeah. But the bathroom looked very clean. I was thinking that, so we finally get this guy who has clearly been going to cancer meetings.
Yes.
And like almost recruiting people, I guess, because he must have
That's it.
intentionally
Okay.
appeared
Well done, yeah.
in front of him.
Yeah. Because I was trying to think, oh, this is a really elaborate plot if they just got some random American guy who happened to have cancer randomly bump into John. But that's exactly it. It's
Yeah.
like a Fight Club type thing. He's specifically going to these groups.
Yeah, he's pinpointed John, seen him, followed him, and been like, now it's my time to tell him.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah. But he's there, and I was thinking, maybe this is where all the blood comes from. This is what John's laying in.
Yeah, Lee laying all his... Ugh. Yuck.
Because I was thinking, that why are we in the bathroom? But there was no reason for them to be in the bathroom. I think it was just a reason to show the bathroom.
No. I mean, I guess you could say, considering that they used the bathroom several times...
Just
it's
to store
obviously-
people in now.
Yeah. It was like, well, let's use that place. They've got lots of different facilities. Let's use the bathroom again.
Just store Donnie Wahlberg in that bathroom.
Yeah. And it had to be, like, I tell you what, we could absolutely 100%, if we went back through the series, we'd be able to pinpoint probably exactly where this could fall based on exactly when he hired Hoffman, because we can't remember exactly when.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I feel
Hoffman was
like
there for the
Hoffman-
first film.
I feel like Hoffman's always been there. I feel like that is the whole reason Amanda was getting jealous. Because I feel like you see Amanda after 3, right? You still see her in some of the films.
Yeah.
And you see her getting jealous about Hoffman.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
I
Hoffman
I thought that's because
manipulating
she
her.
was there first, though. Because if Hoffman was there first, why would she be jealous of him? Hoffman could only be there first if he was in Saw, if he was helping in Saw.
Yeah, but Amanda was before Saw.
Yeah, man, it was. Fuck, it's complicated.
Yeah. Amanda's always been with him as far as we've watched the films.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Even when she went into the police station and said, he saved me.
Yeah.
Can't do that, man. But it was nice to see Hoffman again.
It was lovely seeing Hoffman.
I love how that was the big thing that they built up to.
Yeah.
That was the final reveal. It was him as a detective.
Of all things, I was like, yes, Hoffman.
I was very happy to see him again. He's a chubby man who looks like he should be in very bad movies.
Yeah.
That's what I've always thought about him. He looks
And
like
some
he should be
people
in
might
shit
say
movies.
these are bad.
I know. I don't know that he's ever done anything other than this.
I've never seen
of
him again.
note.
No.
Costas Mandylor. I think he's Australian or New Zealand.
Yeah,
or
I think
something
he
like
is.
that.
Yeah.
But
It was nice to see him. And he's aged well.
better
He
than
looks
them
like he's
two.
just come off the back of the set of the last film he
He
did.
does, yeah. He's been waiting for this for a decade. He's been like, anytime I'm ready to go in again. I'm not making money on anything else. I'll be back. We want you for a mid-credit scene. You've got one line to say. What's the line you're gonna say? What was it? Of all the men for you to cheat, you pick John Kramer. That's an epically big fail. What? At the same time, I was like, I'm so glad this is a line now in this film because it's so ridiculous.
I loved it.
Hang on, what is that line? It was it epically big fail?
Epically. That's an epic. Epically. Is it
Hoff-
epically? Is that what?
Yeah.
Epically big fail.
Hoffman saw X epically big fail. Is that what it says? Epic bad luck.
Epic bad luck. Oh, there you go. Saw X. This is what a video says. That's first thing that popped up. Saw X post-credit scene, but it's awful.
These fuckers never watched the Saw films.
They don't know who
understand.
Hoffman is.
They ain't got a clue. They're like, and then some random guys in the room with him.
And he says some silly line.
These stupid people.
It's silly, but it's good.
He said it was good. Hey, I had fun, man.
That was Saw X.
That was Saw X. Now, imagine that this had come out during that Saw run,
Yeah.
and it had come out a year after all the others.
There's got an extra bit of sing about this film because of the fact that we've had two bad
Bad ones.
and it also feels like we haven't had a Saw film. I know we've probably had those films, but it feels like we haven't had one in so long
No.
that's absolutely connected to the originals.
Yeah.
And I think it has that extra bit of like, oh, just from that.
Yes.
So it's nice for that. But also, I think it is a good addition
It
to
is
the
a good-
franchise.
it's a
I
great
think
addition.
It's a great addition. And
Could you imagine watching, if you were going to go chronologically, could you imagine
I was
going
thinking this, yeah.
Saw and then maybe
That's
Saw
what-
2 and then maybe this and then 3. I think it would go fit well before 3 because 3
Before 3,
is the
100%.
continuation
Yeah.
of Amanda and...
Yeah, if you're going to Amanda's story,
And I've always loved that original trilogy the most.
Yeah.
So I could imagine trying to slot this in there and watch all 4.
yeah, that is a
enjoy
good
it.
way to do it. Yeah, yeah. But
And then I'll be going, oh, who's Hoffman?
who is this Hoffman?
Why are they showing him at the end of these credits?
I think that if you third place, you'd put this film.
That's where
because
it's
I
going,
think
isn't it?
that's the progression of Amanda's character. Because you get Saw 1,
Yeah.
you find out she was in a trap.
Yeah.
Saw 2, you get her supposedly being put in a trap again, but then revealing she is an apprentice.
Yeah.
Saw X, this is the progression of her being an apprentice
Yeah.
and trying to work out her place and can she carry on doing
Now,
what
but
Jigsaw's done.
would she, based on what was going on in this film, would he have done this first and then said, now I'm going to put you into a trap with a load of people? Or would he have put her into a trap with a load of people and then done this? It feels like he would have done this first.
See, this is an interesting thing because what we have here in this film is supposedly another real test for Amanda, right? And how she would handle a situation because he doesn't give her all the
Doesn't give her all the info.
all the information, just like he doesn't give her all the information in Saw 3. I feel like there is a test for Amanda again, but not as a hardcore test as because he clearly
it's a
in
little
Saw
test.
3 he realizes that she is doing wrong,
Yeah.
right, and she's basically killing people rather than giving them a chance to live.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Saw 2 is potentially like, okay, now this is your next test. I want you to go among the victims.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And, you know, just be among them, see how they work things out, see how they go about things.
Yeah.
Because this is what I do. I'm always there watching.
I'm in the room.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the thing. I'm always there. I'm always watching. But he is very much... So in that first one, he's in the room and people can see him. Mm-hmm. In the second one, he cannot be seen at all. So it definitely is a case of Saw X being before Saw 2.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's like, he was half in the room, half up in the booth.
Yeah.
So in Saw 2, he's like, no, I can't be there at all. So yeah, that's definitely where it fits then. That's
Yeah.
what we're saying.
It does feel like a progression, yeah. It does.
Saw X, Saw 2. Because he's more bitter in Saw 2 as well.
That's
like,
correct,
he's
yeah.
cackling away.
Yeah,
It has
Saw
to be
X,
that,
Saw
yeah.
2, yeah.
Because he's also, don't forget, he's very sick at the end of Saw 2. I know he's been beaten up by Donnie Wahlberg, but he's very sick.
That's true.
Like, he's in, like,
Yeah.
smiling.
Next time we see him, he's in a
He's in the
hospital
bed.
bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very true. That is a good shout. Yeah, that's probably it.
Very good. Okay. We can watch it in that way going forward. Are we going to rate it?
Just rate it.
We'll rate it for the normal people, and then we'll do our whole Saw ranking for the patrons.
Yes, that is what we're doing, everyone. Before we rate, we are going to do a Patreon episode on www.patreon.com/filmbusters, where you can get exclusive episode, exclusive content. You can suggest films for us to do on the show. You can come on the podcast if you pay enough money. But after this episode, we are going to rank all the Saw films and tell you where Saw X places
Yes.
in all those films.
If you can't tell, we actually do fucking like the Saw films.
Not like, we love them.
We love them. We couldn't be talking about it like this.
I know.
If we didn't.
This has been a chunky
I
episode.
know. We would have dismissed this shit out the bat if we were any other podcast within 5 minutes. All right. So, how long's it been going for?
An hour 20 we've been talking.
An hour 20? Since we came back?
We've been talking, yes.
What time is it?
For an hour 20.
Fuck me, man. Jesus. Okay, well, we'd best wrap this up. Well, it's an 8.
It's an 8 for me.
Oh, good.
Absolutely,
All right.
yeah.
There it is.
Straight 8. Yeah.
Maybe time would change it. Maybe time
Maybe.
would give it a better. Maybe time would lower it. I don't think it would lower
Maybe.
it.
I think it's a straight 8.
Good
Like,
straight 8, yeah.
I think we go a bit more into it when we talk about the actual rankings and what we rate other films.
Yes.
But I came out of it thinking, man, this is a great addition to the franchise.
It is. And it's a good bit of fan service. Goes back to what we like. It is the complete opposite of Saw 3D, which was let's go huge, put it all over the world. Let's go 3D gimmicks. Let's get Chester Benningfield in it, whatever his name was. Let's do all this stuff en masse, and let's throw in Gordon and this, that, and the other. It's the opposite of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very good.
Low-key, dramatic Jigsaw. If that's what you want to see, that's what you're going to get.
That's what you get. Do we place it in our rankings now?
Let's place it in our rankings, yeah.
Our films that are on the 8th spot, but Adam will watch this and bring it right down. You know this.
Yeah, of course.
This is the highest it's ever going to be.
This is not going to stay at an 8, so
no.
We can place it as far as we can.
All right.
With us being able to divvy up between the 8s.
I know. It's not going to go too far for you. What happens? Well, here we go. The Hunger. It's better than The Hunger.
Better than The Hunger.
Melancholia. Has to stop there for you.
Has to stop there for me.
So it will be up to Adam, but I think Adam's going to end up liking Melancholia better.
Yeah, probably. That's where it stops.
That's where it sits.
That's
now.
fine. That's good.
So that's all right.
Straight 8, man. I'm so happy.
Very happy.
And a good Saw film.
I know.
An 8 out of 10. Brilliant.
I meant to say before we recorded that I would be happy with a 7+.
Yeah.
If it got a 7, I'd have been happy.
Yeah,
so
I would
to
have been
get
happy.
An 8 is fantastic.
Brilliant stuff.
And now I'm looking forward to finding out what I gave the other Saw films.
Yes.
Because I can't remember.
Amazing stuff. Well, we hope you enjoyed that, guys. It was a different kind of energy for an episode there.
Yeah.
Actually be in the room together. It's quite nice.
It is. It's one of our fucking longest episodes for a long time as well. I have no idea how we spoke for an hour and a half just now.
It's because it's a Saw film.
That's why.
That is why.
Fucking flew by. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for listening. And if you want to go to the Patreon, go over there now. www.patreon.com/filmbusters. Goodbye.
Bye.
Filmbusters.